Once upon a time, in the quiet town of Radiator Springs, a new and unexpected race was about to take place. The sun was shining brightly, and the streets of the town were bustling with excitement. For years, Lightning McQueen had been the town's fastest and most beloved racer. But today, it wasn't just any race. It was a challenge that no one had ever expected. Chick Hicks, the green race car known for his ruthless drive to win, had returned to Radiator Springs. He was no longer the villainous racer that everyone once feared, but he still had a fiery spirit and an undying need to prove he was the best. Lightning McQueen, Mater, Sally, and all their friends were gathered in front of Flo's V8 Cafe when Chick drove into town with his trademark smirk. "I'm back," he declared with his usual cocky attitude. "And I'm here to take part in a race that will decide who the true champion of Radiator Springs really is." The cars gathered around Chick, surprised by his unexpected challenge. "You want to race again?" Lightning asked, squinting his eyes. "I thought you retired from all that." Chick chuckled. "Retired? I was just taking a break. But I've been training, and I'm faster than ever." Sally stepped forward, her eyes filled with concern. "Chick, you've caused so much trouble in the past." "Why now? Why here?" Chick didn't seem to care about her question. Instead, he gave a sly grin. "I'm not just racing for fun. I'm racing for redemption. It's time to show everyone that I can be more than just a villain." Mater, the tow truck, laughed loudly, his engine rumbling. "Well, I reckon that's something. Ain't no harm in a friendly race, right, Lightning?" Lightning nodded, but gave Chick a cautious look. "All right, if it's a race you want, it's a race you'll get. But this time, you'll have to race all of us." Chick's eyes widened. "All of you, what? Are you trying to gang up on me?" "We're a team," Lightning replied, "and we're going to show you that it's not just about winning. It's about friendship and respect." And so, the great race began. The route would take the racers through the hills of Radiator Springs, up the winding roads, past the famous Radiator Springs Speedway, and into the desert. It wasn't just a race of speed, it was a race of character. Everyone knew that they had to help each other out and make sure that Chick, no matter how much he liked to boast, didn't lose sight of what really mattered. As the race started, Lightning and his friends took off with their usual teamwork. Mater cheered from the sidelines, shouting words of encouragement. "Go, Lightning, go, show 'em what you got." But Chick wasn't going to make it easy for them. He zoomed ahead, taking sharp turns and cutting corners. Lightning McQueen and Sally stayed close behind, navigating the tricky path, while the ever-optimistic Mater shouted out directions. "Turn left, McQueen, you're going too fast." Mater yelled, but Lightning didn't slow down. Sally, who had been practicing on the roads of Radiator Springs for months, tried to catch up to Chick. "You can't outrun friendship, Chick," she called out. "You can win a race, but you can't win hearts." Chick just smirked, speeding ahead. "We'll see about that." The race moved through the hills, where the cars had to take sharp twists and turns. Lightning, with his years of racing experience, showed no fear as he pushed himself to the limit. But Chick's skills were impressive, and he was determined to win. As they reached the highest point in the race, a dangerous downhill stretch loomed ahead, with cliffs on either side. "Careful, everyone," shouted Sally, her voice filled with warning. "The road here is slippery," but Chick, always too focused on the finish line, didn't listen. He tried to cut a corner too tightly and found himself skidding dangerously close to the edge of a cliff. Lightning and Sally watched in horror as Chick's tires spun and he began to slide. "Chick," Lightning called out, not thinking about winning anymore. "Hold on." Without hesitation, Lightning swerved to the side and slid next to Chick. Sally did the same. They managed to prevent Chick from falling off the cliff, but the danger wasn't over yet. The rocky path ahead was riddled with loose stones and debris, making it nearly impossible to continue. "We can't just leave him here," Sally said, her voice filled with determination. "He may have been tough, but he's still one of us." Chick's engine sputtered, his pride taking a hit. I don't know how to get out of this," he admitted, his usual arrogance fading. Lightning grinned. "It's all right, Chick. We've got your back." With Sally's guidance, they all carefully navigated the tricky path. Together, they helped Chick, not by racing to the finish line, but by working as a team. When they finally reached the end of the treacherous stretch, Chick was breathless, his engine rumbling from exhaustion. "I didn't think you would help me," Chick said quietly. "I always thought I had to win alone." Lightning gave him a friendly nudge. "That's where you've been wrong, Chick. It's not about racing alone. It's about the people you have around you. You don't have to be a villain to be a champion." Chick was quiet for a moment, then nodded slowly. "I think I understand. Maybe I've been doing this all wrong." By the time they reached the finish line, it wasn't clear who had won. It didn't matter. The race was never about crossing the line first. It was about proving that even the most competitive racers could learn from each other and work together. The whole town of Radiator Springs gathered to cheer them on. Mater waved his tow rope high in the air. "Y'all did great. This here's what it's all about: teamwork and friendship." Chick Hicks, once the most feared racer on the track, smiled. "I've learned something today," he said, looking at Lightning, Sally, and the others. "It's not always about winning, it's about having the right friends by your side." And so Chick became a part of the Radiator Springs family. Though he didn't always race as fast as he once did, he learned that true greatness didn't come from being the fastest or the most ruthless. It came from working with others and making sure everyone crossed the finish line together. From that day on, Chick Hicks was known not just for his racing, but for his new spirit of teamwork. And Radiator Springs became a little bit faster and a lot more united, with every race showing that, in the end, it was the friendship that mattered most. And so, the race wasn't just a race, it was a lesson in how even the most competitive hearts could be softened by the power of friendship. The end.